Hi there, how's everybody? This is Patty Ann coming to you from Hurricane Milton on its way. It's 10 till 7, so it's going to be getting dark soon, so I wanted to make a video before I think we'll probably lose our power. We are in the pathway, and my 4 grown children are also all in the pathway, so I'm very worried about everybody. You know, when your kids are growing up, you're always a mom. I'm always a worrywart anyway, so anyway, I came outside just because I wanted to show you, if any of you live far away and have never seen a hurricane, it's raining really hard, it's blowing, and well, I wanted to show you in the trees, but it's very gusty, and right now it's not extremely windy, but every now and then when the gusts pick up, these trees are bending way over, and the problem with trees, I'm going to go on my carport. The problem with trees is that we have really sandy soil in Florida. There's nothing for the roots to hang on to. So the roots start kind of giving up when the sand gets really saturated. And then as the tree starts to tilt, the really heavy, like old oak trees, just the weight of them then brings them down. I've lived in Florida a long time, so we did have a tree come down on our house several years ago. Luckily, it was a young tree. It wasn't huge in diameter, so it did minimal damage to our roof. One of my daughters lives in a house which is surrounded by old, huge oak trees, so I'm really mostly worried about her. My boys live in an apartment on the 3rd floor, so I'm certainly not worried about them flooding. But if the wind tears their roof off, they're on the top floor, they're going to be in trouble. So why didn't I evacuate? Well, that's a good question. I was invited by my cousin to come up to Alabama, and I actually wanted to go. But my husband said, no, let's just keep our eye on it. And I'm like, keep your eye on it till it becomes too late to go. And he said he doesn't think we're going to be under the eye. It's going to be below us. And if there is damage to the house, he wants to be here right away to fix it the next day. And I'll tell you the truth, I actually don't want to leave my kids and my grandchildren. So we're staying. We're on the north edge of the cone, so it's going to go underneath us for the most part. But it's going to get really windy. I've actually sedated both of my dogs a little bit because they're terrified of storms. I can't remember what else I was going to say. I did make some notes. What I thought I might do is actually get in my car, finish my video in here. Oh, I know what I wanted to say about hurricanes. I am just so sorry for all the people that were affected by Helene. I just was horrified when I saw the footage. I don't know why. I didn't think it was going to be that bad after it had been over land for a while. And I saw videos that were just rubble, matchsticks. Oh my God, Western North Carolina with roads and bridges completely flooded out. Anyway, I got all you guys in my prayers. T. Cancella, I know, is in an area where they got some damage and lost power. Gigi, I guess a tree started to come down on her house, hit another tree, which made it bounce off and not hit her house or her neighbor's house. So thank God for that. But yeah, really, as a nurse, I really worry about people after these kind of storms or catastrophes because, some people they need electricity like for medical equipment or, luckily it's not too horribly hot, but like if it's really in the heat of the summer, a lot of elderly people can't stand to be in these hot homes. Oh. So anyway, I also wanted to say I have in my prayers Susan, whose mom is in Israel. And, with all the fighting and stuff going on, my heart breaks for her because I know what it's like to be worried about a parent and you live far, far away. But heaven forbid, not in a foreign country even. That's really far away. So, everybody hang in there. I will say the nice thing about hurricanes, yes, there is one. The next day, people come out of the woodwork to help each other. You'll have some neighbor dealing with some huge limbs or tree with this burly guys with their chainsaw. They get done, they look around, and pretty soon they're in your yard. Hey, can I give you a hand? And someone else comes over and starts dragging them, and it's I guess I've kind of gone full circle because I'm used to when we moved in here, I was in my early 30s. My kids were little. All my neighbors were really old, retired people. So we were the ones always helping out. And now here we are, retired, and like our next door neighbor went to get sandbags, and they came here first and said, "Do you want some sandbags?" Now, luckily, we're on a hill, and at the high end of the hill, so I'm not worried about flooding except in our backyard. Sometimes it comes down the hill and then comes around into the patio and floods by the kitchen door. So we actually did put sandbags there, so I really appreciated it. Anyway, that just seeing people helping one another, that does my heart good, that we still have this aspect of humanity in our lives. So anyway, okay, let's talk about the Adelsons. I wanted to talk about how I'm really seriously considering jumping camp and changing to the Carl Steinbeck way of seeing things. I've all along been, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Carl would scoop them all up, but George is doing great, doing one at a time, right? But it's just too long. They've suspected it was the Adelsons since 2016. It's 10 years since the murder. It's 8 years since they suspected them. Come on. And now, it sounds like Charlie might get an appeal to get a new trial. You know what I think? If he's going to have a new trial, scoop them all up, try them all four together. It is a conspiracy, after all. I think it would work out great to have them there. Let Georgia and Sarah get extra attorneys in there to help her, to have to prosecute 4 people at the same time. They got Charlie in under 3 hours. Donna has basically the same evidence against her and then some. She'll be easy. Wendy, I don't know. So many people say there's just not enough. It's iffy. But you know what? I think there is enough, and I'm holding out hope because the guilty people need to be put in prison. Not just for punishment, but I think our society needs to see rich people aren't always going to get out of it because of connections, political connections, money. Sorry, I don't know. I got the hiccups. We had fajitas for dinner. Anyway, a while back I was asking, I think it was Judy, I was asking her, does Wendy still get to say where the boys go to live if she's in jail? And she said, yes, she has parental rights whether she's in jail or not. And I just been, all along I've just been worried about the boys, and we all have been, right? And all of a sudden it dawned on me, with Donna's trial being another year before new attorneys can get up to snuff, right? And then they're going to wait and do another one in a year. And then, these boys are going to be 18. It's a moot point. It's a moot point. And maybe it is already. I know at least in divorce cases, a lot of times the judges will let teenagers say where they'd rather live. So it's like too late. It's too late to save these boys from that influence. Sorry to sound negative, but that's just what I think. And of course I always hope for the best, especially for children. They're so innocent. But, sometimes reality smacks you in the face, and they've been in that environment their whole life so far. And then here's another, maybe a morbid thought, but Ruth and Phil are both 80 now. My mother passed away when she was 83. I know some people live longer, into their later 80s, 90s, even 100, but that's just... It's just too much already. Now, I saw Carl 2 lives ago say this legal system here in Florida is an embarrassment, and he was really emphatic that time. But then, if you all saw it, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, he went live again from Isla Mirada. It was kind of cool. He was in casual clothes, but now he's saying these guys have effed around with this case till it is now a cold case. A cold case. A cold case as in when the detectives follow all their leads and they go nowhere, and 10, 15 years later, some new hiree is digging and looking and trying to investigate the case again. A cold case, right? There's something wrong. There's something going on here, and I don't buy it anymore. The one at a time, and COVID wasn't their fault. That did back them up. Oh, dang it, I forgot. I wanted to show you a clip on my other phone, but I didn't bring it out here with me, so I'll just tell you. There's a case I watched on that show called 48 Hours. It was about a young man named Blaze Bernstein. He is both a Jewish and gay, so he was a very targeted person for those reasons. Anyway, I was watching this show and they were interviewing the parents who said, even though they knew who did it, it took them 6 years to get him to court and get him convicted. And the mother was just saying, 6 years is too long. It was heartbreaking. And I think what she said is slow justice is no justice. 6 years now. We're looking at 10. I just started getting really impatient and thinking, what are we going to now start counting in decades? You know, we've been counting 1 year at a time and now 10 years. And in the meantime, Wendy's waltzing around. I don't know if she's living her best life. You know, she had to scoot on out of Florida, but I really, I'm now in the camp, scoop them all up and try them all. And I think their approach is too timid. It's too much time. You even got the defense saying they have evidence not available to them anymore. I mean, this is getting bad for more reasons than one. And, you know, I don't see any reason why Georgia and Sarah couldn't get additional attorneys in there if trying 4 people at once is a big undertaking. They can get more attorneys, right? Boy, Carl, I really wish he'd come down here and get his Florida license to practice. The Adelson case needs him. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. The last thing I want to say is against my own advice. When there's conflicts in our community, my advice was everybody don't talk about it. Let people work it out. And I still agree with that, but sometimes the conflicts don't work out and they go on and on, and it just seems like they get worse and worse. And I don't know about you guys, but I found it really hard to take. I don't do well when I see people being intentionally mean-spirited. I think a more emotionally stable person could maybe handle that better than I can, but I have had a bad background and years of counseling, and I still have that in my gut that when people start fighting and being, that's what my family would do. They would stab you in the back and it wouldn't be enough. They'd have to go back and twist, the knife, and that's why I can't stand to see people hurting one another. So I guess what I wanted to say is if you stay out of it and it just goes on and on and on, I think make some changes. I have. Make some changes and be where you're comfortable. I kind of hate to see people who announce they're leaving and try to have a dramatic exit because, my instinct, when there's drama, my instinct is to try to diffuse the situation, not inflame it. And, I've been in other forums where I was like a moderator, so I got kind of used to that. When people would start quibbling and fighting, you immediately try to cool it off, not make it worse. So, we all want justice for Dan. Well, one community, I think there's room for all of us. The people that I not subscribed to anymore, I still like them. I still respect them, and I'm not in their shoes. I don't know what was going on with their heads, but I think things got really so out of control. I just wasn't comfortable anymore, and I wouldn't want to name any names except one, and that would be Patty Ann, because I really let myself get swept up in something until I became a person who I'm not, or at least who I don't want to be. And it was a good experience because I learned something about myself, and I need to be a lot more careful, even if there's somebody you really trust. If somebody has trolled them, don't take their word for it. Maybe that person's behavior wouldn't bother you the same way it did them. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I just hope everybody can kind of forgive each other, let go of the hard feelings, and continue on in supporting each other. And so there you have it. That's kind of where my thinking is with that. And boy, I've been doing hurricane prep every day for a while, so I got very behind. I saw Carl. I saw some of Judy. I think I missed 2 lives, but I saw some of hers, and she's interviewing. Oh gosh, I just had a mental. She's interviewing Hey Mona. I love Hey Mona. We've known her. She's been in the chats a full timer or a long timer, whatever you want to call it. And I only saw maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but she is delightful. I love her. And I was just thinking, wouldn't it be cool if maybe Judy started interviewing different people in our community each week and we can get to know each other more? It's, kind of a fun thing. And it would help Judy too, like resting her voice. All right, well, it's getting dark now. I'm going to end this because I'm pretty sure it probably looks terrible on your end. Sorry about that, but I don't know. I got this idea that I should come outside and show you the storm. All right, everybody take care. And I'll be back when I'm able to. All right.